Everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Adorkable Rachel, and it's time once again for another episode of Rachel Reviews, so let's just hop into it. So, this is one of those movies that's based on a toy line that also has a TV show that I actually haven't gotten the chance to see yet, so I don't really know if this is meant to be directly connected to the show. I have a feeling that it's not, only because the voice actors are completely different, and I've got my own issues with that, but we're not going to go into that because we'll be here forever. But also, it just kind of seems like its own thing. The LEGO Ninjago movie is the third in the LEGO franchise, and it takes place in a city called Ninjago. Go figure. And from what I can gather, this is a town that's completely made up of both ancient Asian and modern buildings, and it's also populated by people of different backgrounds and races, all of which use ancient Chinese and Japanese writing that's either written backwards or upside down. Okay. But the citizens of Ninjago live in complete and constant fear of the Lord Garmadon, who tries to attack and take over the city every single chance he can possibly get. Because evil! And every time he tries, he's stopped by 4 or 5 or 6 ninjas. Honestly, I don't remember. So kind of like Power Rangers, but less corny. And always leading them in the fight is Lord Garmadon, disguised as the Green Ninja, who just so happens to be Lord Garmadon's son. Oh, you don't say! I was personally a little surprised that we actually got a third LEGO movie, but even more surprised that it came out the same year as the second one. And I personally like the first 2 LEGO movies. The first one is obviously a lot better by all standards, but also I still like the second one, and it has an excuse for existing because it's a spin-off of a character from the first film that was really, really enjoyable to watch. He's one of those characters who you're like, hey, if he had his own movie, I'd totally watch that. And I totally watched it, and it was awesome. And I think they should have just stopped there. We've got 2 great films. You don't need to go any further with it, because this movie, so much so more than the other one, actually felt like it was just made to sell us toys. Right down to the LEGO logo just appearing in the foreground. Constantly. Why? Now this movie, it does have some fun action in it, and I really do like the animation. It's still freaking spectacular. But something very different about this film from the other one, it's not that funny. I mean, you can tell that they were trying to capture the comedy of the other 2 films, but I think I really first had my first genuine laugh from this film about 20 minutes after it started. That's really not a good sign for LEGO standards. I think I honestly laughed like 2 times actually throughout this whole film. There were 2 like really big laughs out of this movie. And it really didn't help that there was a lot of jokes that fell really, really flat, and they kept milking them, and you just want the scene to end already. And while watching this film, it frequently felt like they were just bunching in a lot of things that really didn't go that well together. For one, there was way too many characters. The 5 or 6 ninjas in the film, they just felt like they were here because they were in the show or the franchise or whatever, and they really didn't have any defining character traits or personalities. A lot of them do show signs of personality traits that we could go further with, but then they don't really go anywhere. We also see that they end up having Captain Planet type powers about halfway through the film, but again, that feels like it's just kind of introduced very last minute. And even though they have these powers, they don't really seem to use them that much when they really could use them. So the payoff at the end is just kind of like, okay. I don't know, it just felt like a lot of stuff in this film was really rushed, like almost Last Airbender kind of rushed. And speaking of rushed, and I'm not giving this away because this was in the trailers, but when Lord Garmadon finds out that Lloyd is his son, that suddenly makes him question everything. Now this could have worked maybe, but my issue is that they don't really go into why this makes him see everything differently. I mean, he doesn't reflect on how he might have more of himself in his son than he realized. He doesn't seem conflicted with fighting the enemy and fighting his own flesh and blood. He just suddenly goes from very blatantly not giving a shit about his son and then wanting to be in his son's life for no reason other than finding out that his son's the enemy. Because in the very beginning of the film, they acknowledge that they do know each other and he's aware of his son's existence, but he doesn't care. He's like, whatever, you're not important to me. Why would suddenly realizing that he's the enemy make you just suddenly have a different perspective about this? And that's one of the biggest problems of this film. There really is no reason as to why I should care about these 2 wanting to have a relationship of any kind. Or any character for that matter. Aw, what? Was your daddy a crap father to you? Well, you know what? Maybe you're better off without him. You've got friends and an uncle played by Jackie Chan, hello, who cares about you deeply. What more do you need? I personally think the better theme would have been, hey, you know what? Maybe your biological family doesn't really need to be your family. It's okay. Who really took care of you? They're the ones that matter. But thoughtless kids film, so glossed over. And by the way, when Lord Garmadon does turn sides, there really isn't any stakes in the movie anymore. No urgency, no like pressure to get somewhere. That is except for the giant cat that's comically destroying the city. Oh yeah, that's in the movie. That is one of the biggest laughs that I got in this film. And by the way, while watching this movie, yes, all I could think was, that's Berlioz. That's our cat, Berlioz, destroying the city. Seriously, get a good look at this handsome little face. Does he not look like the kitty from the movie? Oh, was that you? Did you try to destroy the Ninjago city? Thank you. You're all right. Now, one nice thing that I can say about this movie is that I do like Justin Theroux as Lord Garmadon. Yes, he stole the show with his comically evil performance. He's no Will Arnett, but he is a complete dick in this film and he knows it, and that just made it so much fun to watch. I honestly didn't expect a lot going into this film because it is a Lego movie, but I did expect to at least laugh a lot and to get some really enjoyable neglectful dad humor because it seemed like that's what we were gonna get based on the trailer, but all the humor, like the best humor in this film, it was in the trailer. God damn it, not again! Also, I don't know why, but there was some scenes that were in the trailer that were actually animated differently in the film. Like, why? What was the point? I felt like the stuff that was actually in the movie could have worked just fine in the trailer. I don't get it. And actually, there was a lot of stuff in this trailer that didn't even appear in the film. Remember that one really funny scene with the bride and the groom and the bride just abandons her husband? Wasn't in it. Why? That was really funny. You could have just put that in there somewhere and it would have at least gotten a laugh out of us. But I will admit, as dull as the film was, the conclusion was kind of sweet. I mean, I didn't get super choked up, but I could at least, I could feel the emotions they were trying to go for. Like, you could tell that David Franco was really putting his acting chops into that scene, and it's one of the few really effective parts of the film. The Lego Ninjago movie, it's not bad, but it's certainly not really that new either. I was actually surprised. It was kind of flat and boring and was predictable, and even the message, which should have been kind of obvious, it was really confusing. The message is, I don't know, take time to be a dad today? Oh wait, no, it's about being yourself. Being yourself, that's what it's about. I know we shouldn't expect this movie to be exactly like the other films, but it has to at least be entertaining, and this movie was not entertaining. But hey, at least it was better than the Emoji Movie. I can see kids probably getting more wrapped in this than adults, which is fine, I suppose, but I was just a little disappointed that I really enjoyed the first two films, and then this was the one that really felt like a big corporate sellout. And what's also really interesting is apparently this has been a film that's been in development for 4 years, so why in the world would something so bland come out of 4 years of development? Oh, wait a minute. There were not 1, not 5, but 7 writers on this film? And 3 directors? Well, no wonder it felt like they were trying to cram everything and get nothing at the same time. Huh. You know, I really wish I could say that I enjoyed this movie and that I was excited for another one, but I think we're good for a while. If you want to do another Lego film, let's make it a little more fresh and funny next time. Take more risks, do more with it. As long as it's entertaining, it'll make me laugh. Believe me, I'll be happy. So those are my thoughts on the Lego Ninjago movie. So now I want to know, did you guys get a chance to see it? And if so, what did you think? Do you hope that we'll get another Lego movie in the future, or are you kind of Legoed out now? Also, are there any other movies or films or TV shows coming up that you want me to do a review of? What are your thoughts? Well, go ahead and leave your comments below. Be sure to like and share. And if you're new and like what you saw here, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also be sure to hit the little bell button down there to get notified when new stuff comes out, because I make new videos every week. Bye, Adorkable buddies. I'll see you soon.